Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into some serious family drama. We're cracking open the book of Genesis and exploring a section packed with inheritance battles, some shocking twists and turns, and enough family secrets to make a soap opera blush.
Lots of skeletons in the closet.
We're talking Abraham, Isaac, and a whole cast of characters you might not know quite as well.
Some familiar names and some that might surprise you.
And you might think you know the story, but trust me, there's way more here than meets the eye.
That's right. When you dig into it, it gets really interesting.
So, something that really jumped out at me.
Yeah.
After Sarah's death, Abraham takes another wife.
Oh, right, Keturah.
Keturah, and they have 6 sons together.
Yep.
Talk about a blended family, right?
Makes you wonder about the dynamics of families back then.
It does. It wasn't uncommon for men to have multiple wives.
No, not at all.
But how did they deal with inheritance for kids from different mothers?
That's the million-dollar question.
It gets even more intriguing because Abraham leaves everything to Isaac.
Right.
But before he dies, he sends those 6 sons away with gifts, specifically separating them from Isaac. What's the deal with that?
It all seems like he was trying to prevent future conflicts. You know,
Interesting.
acknowledge them with gifts, but keep them separate from Isaac.
A preemptive strike.
Exactly. Ensure a clear line of succession.
It's a reminder of how vital wealth and land were back then.
Absolutely, tied directly to power and influence.
Okay, so we've got this intricate family web,
Yeah?
but where does Ishmael fit in?
Oh, we can't forget about Ishmael.
Abraham's son with Hagar.
Right.
We can't just leave him out of the picture.
His story is super fascinating.
So tell me more.
He had 12 sons.
Okay.
Each became the leader of a tribe.
Interesting.
Now, that number, 12, it's not just a random detail.
Oh.
It's got a deeper meaning in biblical numerology.
All right, I'm all ears. What's the symbolism there?
Well, 12 often represents completeness, a chosen people.
Hmm.
We see it all over the Bible.
You're right.
The 12 tribes of Israel, for instance.
Right.
So, even though Ishmael and Hagar were sent away,
Yeah,
his lineage still carried weight.
like a parallel to the chosen people.
Exactly. But things weren't always easy for Ishmael's descendants.
No. What happened?
They settled near Egypt, but
Hmm.
they often clashed with other tribes.
So even way back then, there was tension and conflict between different groups, vying for power, resources. You know, it's a pattern we see throughout history.
Oh, yeah. And even today, it's a
Okay.
recurring theme for sure.
It is. But for now, let's shift our focus back to Isaac and his family.
Okay.
So Isaac marries Rebekah at 40,
Hmm.
and they face a challenge a lot of couples face even now: infertility.
Right. And this is where the divine gets involved.
Oh yeah, the divine. And things always get interesting then.
Rebecca eventually conceives,
Mm-hmm.
but it's twins. And the prophecy she gets from God, well,
What? Tell me.
it's intense, foreshadowing a massive conflict.
Can you imagine getting a prophecy like that? 2 nations are in your womb. One people will be stronger than the other, and the older will serve the younger.
Wow. I bet that really weighed on her. It's not just about sibling rivalry.
Right.
It's about entire nations and their futures.
That's some heavy stuff to carry.
It sets the stage for a struggle for power over generations, a massive clash.
So, introduce us to these twins, Esau and Jacob. Who were they? What made them so different?
Esau, the firstborn,
Mhm.
who's a skilled hunter, a man of the outdoors,
Okay,
a rugged individualist, comfortable out in the wilderness.
got it. And Jacob.
Jacob was more of a homebody, content staying close to camp.
So very different personalities.
Yes, very different.
And of course you have the classic parental favoritism.
Oh, absolutely.
Isaac clearly favored Esau,
Yeah.
loved his adventurous spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Rebekah, though, she favored Jacob.
Right. And that kind of preference, it's going to cause some problems, right?
Oh yeah, big time. And those problems lead us to one of the most famous scenes in Genesis, the birthright exchange.
Ah, such a classic story.
But what makes it so fascinating? What's going on beneath the surface?
Well, we got to understand what the birthright meant back then.
Okay.
It wasn't just about inheritance, who got more land or animals.
It was more than that.
Oh, yeah, way more. It carried social and religious weight, leadership, continuing the family line, spiritual authority, big stuff.
Yeah, so set the scene. What happens when Esau meets up with Jacob after a hunt?
Esau comes in, famished, totally starving after a long day of hunting.
Okay.
And wouldn't you know it, Jacob's cooking a pot of lentil stew.
Convenient, isn't it?
You think Jacob planned that?
Maybe.
Anyway, Esau bursts in, desperate for food.
Yeah.
He begs Jacob for some stew.
And Jacob, being Jacob's, sees an opportunity.
Sharp as a tack, that one.
So what does he do?
He says, first, sell me your birthright.
Wow, just like that.
Just like that. Imagine the audacity, bartering over a bowl of stew.
What did Esau say?
Esau, he's so focused on his hunger, he's like, look, I am about to die. What good is the birthright to me?
He doesn't see the bigger picture.
Nope. Immediate needs clouding his judgment.
It happens. But Jacob, he's thinking long term.
Always.
He doesn't just take Esau's word for it.
Nope. He wants to make it official. Demands an oath to make the deal binding.
And Esau.
Esau swears the oath, gives up his birthright. Just like that, their lives are changed forever.
All because of a bowl of stew. It's a powerful story about choices and consequences.
It is. And the way it ends is chilling. So Esau despised his birthright.
Makes you wonder what he was feeling, right?
Did he understand what he'd given up? Was it weakness? Or did he not care about the birthright? It's a question that really makes you think.
It does. This isn't just a family squabble. It's about power, ambition, sibling rivalry, and the consequences of choices made in desperation.
Was this just Jacob being clever? Or was there something else going on?
Well, remember his mom, Rebecca, knew about the prophecy. You know, the one that said the younger brother would be stronger.
Oh yeah, good point. And she definitely favored Jacob.
Do you think she might have orchestrated this whole thing?
It doesn't actually say that in the text.
Sure.
There are some hints that she might have been involved. I mean, remember how she helps Jacob trick his father Isaac later on?
Oh, right. She wasn't afraid to meddle a little bit.
It shows she was willing to intervene to get what she wanted for Jacob.
A little bit of family scheming. I like it. But before we get to that, let's talk about Isaac's blessing.
Oh yeah, that's a huge deal in this story, like a turning point.
It felt like it carried a lot of weight.
Right. It wasn't just a nice sentiment or something back then. A father's blessing was a powerful statement. It was believed to actually shape your destiny.
Wow, so the stakes are really high here. Isaac's about to give this blessing to Esau, totally unaware that he's already traded away his birthright.
Exactly. Isaac's old now and blind, and he calls for Esau and tells him to go hunt and make him a special meal. Then he'll give him the blessing.
But Rebecca overhears this, right?
Yeah.
Protective mama bear that she is, she's got to step in.
She's on it. She tells Jacob to go get 2 young goats, and she cooks them up, like Esau's hunting food.
Oh.
But then get this. She dresses Jacob in Esau's clothes. She even covers his hands and neck with goat skins to make him feel hairy like Esau.
Oh, no way. Like a full-on Esau costume. She was really committed to this plan.
Oh yeah, she wanted that prophecy to come true, even if it meant some trickery. And it actually works. Jacob goes to his dad, pretending to be Esau.
But Isaac's blind. How could he tell the difference?
He's suspicious. Like, he can sense something's off.
Uh-oh.
Isaac says, the voice is the voice of Jacob, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
The tension must have been thick enough to cut with a knife.
You can imagine.
But Jacob pulls it off, right?
Yep. Isaac eats the meal and gives him the blessing.
What a scene. So Jacob gets the blessing meant for Esau, and then Esau comes home all ready for his blessing. Can you imagine his face when he figures out what happened?
Talk about shock and outrage.
Esau is totally devastated. He cries out in this loud, bitter cry, begging his father to bless him too.
Oh man, that's heartbreaking to have something stolen from you like that, something that was rightfully yours.
It's a huge blow, but Isaac tells him, the blessing's already been given. It can't be undone. Jacob will be stronger and you will serve him. Ouch. That's gotta sting. This is more than just sibling rivalry now, right? This is a complete break between them.
Yeah, their relationship is shattered. Esau is consumed with rage. He actually vows to kill Jacob.
Whoa, hold on. Murder. That escalated quickly. What happened? Does Jacob end up dead?
Thankfully, no. Rebecca hears about Esau's plan and warns Jacob to run away. She tells him to go to her brother, Laban, in Haran.
So Jacob becomes a fugitive, running from his past. But wait, Laban, doesn't that name sound familiar?
Got it. Remember when we talked about Isaac marrying Rebecca? She was Laban's niece.
Right, Jacob's gonna stay with his uncle. But knowing this family, I doubt it's gonna be a peaceful visit.
Let's just say that Laban, he knows how to look out for number one. He's a tough negotiator.
Oh, this doesn't sound good. So what happens when Jacob gets to Haran?
Well, he meets Laban's daughter Rachel at a well. And get this, he falls instantly in love.
Ooh, love at first sight. Sounds romantic, but this is Genesis, so I'm sure there's a catch.
You know it. It wouldn't be Genesis without some drama. Jacob's so smitten that he offers to work for Laban for 7 years just to marry Rachel.
7 years. Now that's dedication. But I'm guessing Laban's not going to make it that easy.
You guessed it. On their wedding night, Laban tricks Jacob into marrying his older daughter Leah instead.
Wait, he switched the brides? That's awful. Poor Leah. And poor Jacob. That's got to be the most awkward honeymoon ever.
Jacob is furious, obviously. But Laban, smooth talker that he is, talks Jacob into working another 7 years to marry Rachel.
14 years of labor for the woman he loves. That's intense. So he ends up with both Leah and Rachel.
He does. And you can imagine, having 2 wives causes a whole new set of problems.
Oh, I bet. That prophecy about one brother being stronger, it comes into play here too, right?
It does. The rivalry extends to the wives and their children too. They all want Jacob's love and a good place in the family.
Wow, this family is a mess. It's not just brother versus brother anymore, it's wife versus wife too. Sounds like a recipe for disaster.
It definitely adds more fuel to the fire. Leah and Rachel are constantly competing for Jacob's attention.
It's interesting though, even though it's an ancient story, it feels so relatable, right?
Oh yeah, it's a story about the basic human need for love and acceptance and belonging.
It is, but through all this drama and rivalry, Jacob has 12 sons and they become the 12 tribes of Israel, right?
Right. That number 12, it pops up again, representing completeness, a chosen people. But their journey is full of ups and downs.
Deception, rivalry, heartache. Sounds intense. But it all works out in the end, right? What about Esau? Do he and Jacob ever make amends?
Well, after many years, Jacob decides to go back home. He's kind of nervous, thinking Esau's going to want revenge.
Yeah, I'd be nervous too. So what happens when they see each other?
When they finally meet, Esau runs to Jacob and hugs him and starts crying.
Whoa, what a twist. I wasn't expecting that. After all that betrayal, they forgive each other.
It's a beautiful moment of forgiveness and reconciliation. They put the past behind them.
Wow, that gives me chills. What a reminder that even after the worst things, there's hope for healing and forgiveness.
Exactly. It's a testament to the power of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Even when you've been hurt deeply, you can still find a way back to each other. It's testament to the idea that even the deepest wounds can heal.
It's a hopeful message.
It is.
So after all that, the family secrets, the betrayals, the power struggles, what's the main takeaway from this whole saga? What does it all mean?
On one level, it's a story of how a nation came to be.
12 tribes of Israel.
Right. But deeper down, it's a story about family, about the choices we make, and the possibility of redemption.
It's a reminder that even in the most dysfunctional families, there's still room for love, forgiveness, and second chances.
Always.
It's a message that transcends time and culture.
It does. Even though these stories are ancient, they still speak to us today.
They make you think about your own relationships, the choices you make.
And that power of forgiveness.
Wow, this has been quite a journey. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the book of Genesis.
It's been a pleasure exploring these stories with you.
We've unearthed family secrets, witnessed power struggles, and found hope in the possibility of forgiveness.
It's amazing how much depth and meaning there is to uncover in these ancient texts.
So as we wrap up, I encourage you all to keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep discovering the hidden depths within these stories.
There's always something new to learn.
Until next time, happy reading.